I didn't know it was fancy dress, Fred. You look like an angry lizard.
Got to make an impression, darling.
So good to see you, Rami.
Great to see you.
This movie just gave me goosebumps from head to toe. Your transformation is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Talk me through that. What was that like?
It was, gosh, it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But, you know, you think about it, it's an immense challenge, and I wouldn't call it a burden, but a great responsibility to honor this human being and do him justice. He means so much to everyone across the world. And you think maybe this is probably not the right choice. I mean, you're doing all right in your career, but I wanted to take it on. I thought there's a new generation out there who doesn't know enough about Queen and not much about Freddie at all. So I just jumped in with everything I had. I took singing lessons and piano lessons. I flew out here to London on my own accord and just, I dove in. Choreography, movement teaching, dialect, and I just needed time. I thought there's no way I'm gonna do it in 2 months, but if I can have about a year, then maybe I'll pick up a job here and there, but I'll still keep Freddie with me the whole time I can pull it off.
I mean, watching it was just incredible. You actually can't put it into words. You know, it's one of the few movies I've shed a tear. You know, you feel just this great empathy for him. And I know that there were times where you didn't know you were going to pull it off, but you pulled it off.
Thank you so much.
Talk me through that Live Aid scene. What was that like?
You know, that was the first thing we started with. I think everyone has heard that by now because it was a big deal. I mean, there was so much I wanted to do and learn about Freddie, and at some point I had to stop and say, I have to start with a 22-minute concert. And it is the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had in my life. I get a little taste of what rock stars must feel like to be out there. It's a pretty special high just to be in front of a camera on the set of a major motion picture, and then to be replicating one of the greatest performances of all time. Feels like your heart's trying to escape your body.
Well, I mean, rock stars do that all the time. I guess, I mean, I'm sure they get nervous, but they learn to deal with those. But for you, that must have been like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah, I mean, I've done theater, and that's pretty tough every day having an audience of, you know, I think the most I've ever done was about 300. So this was just massive, a scale of, thank God we had Queen fans in the audience, but I thought maybe they'd turn against me at any moment and start, you know, throwing their drinks on stage, which, you know, happens. That sometimes happens.
Well,
at least
didn't.
It didn't happen here. No, it was a phenomenal experience. The boys and myself, our version of Queen, we bonded so tightly. Just preparing for it and then eventually performing it. We did the actual Live Aid version 3 times with about 3 massive cranes, cameras all around us on the ground, capturing it from top to bottom. And there's only a small portion, well, not a small portion, a large portion at the end of the film, but right now we're cutting the entire sequence. So if you like the movie, you'll be able to catch that later on as well.
So this is Queen. And you must be Freddie Mercury. You've got a gift.
Fantastic. I have to mention 2 Irish faces, Aidan and Alan. Delighted to see them in the movie. And you, before we get wrapped here, you did tell me you had a good Irish story. So.
Well, it is about those 2 actors who, I mean, they are so damn talented. It was such a privilege to be on this film with such exceptional actors all across the board, but those 2 I had a scene with, and I was so fortunate to just be included in their work. And the scene takes place, the majority of it, between the 2 of them, and I got so lost in it at one point that Alan asked me, Alan Leech, at the end, as Paul Prenter asked Freddie Mercury, shall I take you home? And I responded, anywhere but home. And that was me just listening to their accent. Now, I don't know if I do an Irish accent at all.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it was, but something on the day came out, and my dialect coach came racing in and said, "Get away from those two boys right now."
Oh, listen, I know I could chat to you for like all day.
You say anywhere but home, so I can hear it.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I'm not Irish.
And you got a little Scottish thing
I'm weird.
going,
I've got
yeah.
a weird accent, so don't judge.
Let me hear you say it, though, if you don't mind. Forget it. Now, I don't like being put on the spot, so I won't put you on
I'm not
the
an
spot.
actor.
No, you're not.
No, but before we go, I do want to ask you one question, and I'm kind of putting your neck on the block here. You're in a karaoke bar, right? And you can only pick one Queen song. What's it going to be?
I'm not going to a karaoke bar anytime soon. I think I did my work on this film, and I don't consider myself a singer, so.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Queen song, if you could pick any?
You know, if I had to do karaoke, I have to answer this question.
You have to do karaoke.
It would be Another One Bites the Dust. I think that was one of my favorite things to shoot in the film.
Good choice.
Yeah. We had Joe Mazzello, who plays John Deacon, come in with that bass riff, and it was so cool. And at one point I came into that scene, I said, "Well, when do you want me to come in?" And he's like, "Anytime you want." And we just looked at each other, and it was towards the end of the film, and we said, "Man, we've created some semblance of a band here," which was just wild.
It was electric to watch.
Thank you.
Well done. You
Thank
made
you.
it.
Thank you so much.
You're a legend, Fred.
We're all legends.